Hello and welcome everybody back to my channel, Tarot with Anne-Marie. How are you all? Are you sweltering in the heat? I hear that lots of places are having heat waves. We are here. So my very best wishes for you to stay cool. So, tarot again. It's that Tuesday twist. And this week we're looking at this wonderful card, which is, there you go, Six of Cups. Isn't that lovely? I really enjoyed actually doing the tutorial for you the other night. It's so nice to do happy and inspiring cards that actually make us feel those lovely emotions. So, on the screen for you tonight, I've got the Chariot and I've got the Cups, but let's give people a little chance to come in. And if you don't know already, you are very welcome to join us, as in I can have you on as a guest. That means you'll come on camera. Hello Nettie, hi, how are you? Bear with me 1 second, let's put this up and let me copy and paste that. Nettie's saying hi to us all. Hello, how are you doing? Are you well, Nettie? Nice to have you. Thank you for saying hello. So, the emotions of the Six of Cups, we'll be getting excited about this and how to read this one, because we went through the meanings the other night, but how do you actually read it? You know, what does it mean? So we're going to keep it nice and simple. So we've got two emotional cards on the screen. You're good. Excellent. Excellent. Good to know. Let's keep it that way. Lovely. Thank you so much for saying hello. I really do appreciate it. Can get a bit lonely here, talking away and wondering if there are anything that you want me to put on the screen, certain cards, certain questions. I know what it's like, and sometimes it's like, no, just carry on as you are. I want to take notes and take it all in. So let's put this on the screen. Let's go with that one. So we'll say the Six of Cups means so many things, so many things, but I can only put so many up on the screen for you. So I thought we'd choose childhood memories. I've got a couple more, all right? They're all exciting ones. But what if it comes up with a card, the Chariot? So keeping it simple, and I'm going to put that on the screen right now. There we go, I need to lock that up. Okay. Chariot can be a card of the home, can be. So can the Six of Cups. We can't cover everything, but we can cover different ways in which it could actually speak to you. Now, you know what it's like when you get your 78 cards and you actually go, okay, what's my intuition telling me, or what's the meaning of the cards? It all goes into a thing of, well, I asked this question and how does that apply? So if somebody's got a question they'd like to ask in regard of what a querent, i.e. the person that's having the reading, may ask, feel free to do so. But let's say we just get a pair and we've not been asked a question. Someone has done that lovely thing to us by going, oh, just pull a couple of cards for me and tell me what's going on. You know, what do the cards advise? Well, it depends what you're asking, doesn't it? It's never that clear or that easy. However, let's just do that, because it can be something where we go, we don't know what to say. So let's say that we have chosen to divide our deck into two, which is my method, and we put the 22 major arcana cards and we shuffle those, and we get the 56 minor arcana cards and we shuffle those separately, which is what I teach you on my courses. Then what we do is we take the top one of the major arcana pile and the top one of the minor arcana pile, and we are going to say that we have the Six of Cups as the minor arcana card, which is all about emotions. Remember your suit, that's important. But even if you didn't know anything, you would actually look and say that's a very soft, gentle, calming, almost peaceful scene. It's got some serenity there, and there are children there. It's quite simple. It's childhood memories from the past. And Chariot can be so many things, but let's keep it simple. Yes, it does mean Cancerians. Yes, it does mean on the road travel. It means lots of things, willpower, all the rest of it. But let's say that we have chosen to say, you know what, I think this is about home. So I've put that card on the screen for you. I'm going to keep changing the major arcana because we are studying the Six of Cups and how we can actually work out what a reading is telling us when the Six of Cups is coming out, and when we've got a major arcana card to tell us what is going on in that person's life. Hello, passionate Saji. How are you? Are you feeling better? Passionate Saji had COVID and she said she was feeling a bit better last week, but with COVID it can be complicated and there's ups and downs and takes a while to get over. So hope you are feeling more up than down. Okay, so looking at this, put the two together. Home, childhood memories. So what does this power tell us? Fuse card from the minor arcana into what's happening at home. So at home, we are feeling nostalgic. We've got childhood memories coming in. That's really good to know. Well done, you. Looking after yourself. Rest. Taking it easy. Doesn't matter if you sleep. As long as you rest well, move a little, have your stay hydrated, have your water, have your fluids, whatever floats your boat actually. Childhood memories are going on at home. So at home we are feeling that we're going back to our childhood and we're probably reminiscing about home. So the Six of Cups, of course, is about reminiscing, and it's always a card of nostalgia. So we could change it for this one, which is we're thinking about home and the past. So how would you read that? You'd say, right, okay, something's going on at home. You're feeling, that your memories from the past, childhood memories, about your home, your people, and who's in the home, usually our family. And Six of Cups is usually a warm, fuzzy feeling. So there's nothing here that's traumatic. This isn't trauma. This isn't something awful. And memories usually, when they come up with the Six of Cups, are happy, good, positive ones. Look at all the primary colours on there. We've got the red, we've got the blue, we've got the yellow, we've got the green, we've got a lovely house in the background, safety and security, we've got the castle. So they're good memories, okay? And taking us back to when we were a child, when things were more simple. So there's something here that might be telling us that that person is thinking very much of home. I mean, we are feeling it, they're thinking it, but it's the actual card is the element of feelings, emotions. So they're feeling it. They're feeling very much in touch with their childhood, where they grew up, this kind of thing. So what would we say to somebody if this is coming up? It's like, okay, maybe you need to pay a visit, as in to where you grew up. Maybe you need to go and see the family. So it might not be to go, it may be, maybe it's like, what? You need to go back and actually go to where you grew up, where your childhood was, and visit that area, even if your family aren't there anymore. Or might be that we're actually saying, you like to go and see the family. So they will tell you, you don't have to pull rabbits out of a hat. It's just, look, something here is saying, maybe you're nostalgic for home. Maybe it's the family within the home that you want to see and they no longer live in that area. Or maybe it's both, What if we actually change it for the fact that, do you remember this? This is a very big, important point I'm about to put on the screen. The Six of Cups is about reconciliation. Reconciling with the past, or whatever it is that's on the left side, i.e. the major arcana card. So the major arcana card that we've got for you there is about our home. So there's something here that we need to actually reconcile. Maybe it's someone, maybe it's the place, maybe it's like, I didn't didn't really like where I lived. This is somewhere that I I wasn't that impressed with where I grew up. It was grey, it was grim, it was always raining, this kind of thing. Or, I didn't have many friends. I found my childhood, I was quite excluded by other children. Maybe you need to actually go back to the place where you grew up, or to go back and see the family, reconciliation, something going on in the home area. I would say it's more that, because the Six of Cups is talking about when we were children. Of course, if we get a different card, so let's just give you an example of that. Okay, I have to be clever, you see. Let's pick one. Let's see what that one does. Okay, let's say that we have the Hanged Man. All right, and so a Hanged Man, I've chosen the word perspective for you. So maybe if this came up, we'd be looking at this and going, okay, you know what? Of course it means many things. Waiting, feeling stuck, feeling a sense of sacrifice, all of those things it can mean. But let's say that we've got nothing to go on and we pull these two cards and we go, hang on a minute, reconciliation's going on here. Could be they're waiting for reconciliation, or it could be that their perspective has completely changed and they need to now go and reconcile something. Okay? It obviously depends on the surrounding cards. So if you saw the home card coming up, it could tell us that it's going back to their home. And as I said, with the Six of Cups, it can be that we're actually looking at someone currently in our lives, i.e. our relationship with our special person. But the Six of Cups is about childhood. So childhood is those people in childhood. Do you see what I mean? Okay. But if somebody phones up and says, I want to know if they're going to apologize. Let's say that was the question. They're ever going to say sorry to me. They did this dreadful thing to me. Well, it could be that they needed to actually look at things from a different perspective, because we've got the Hanged Man. And yes, the Six of Cups is about reconciliation. But if you didn't have that question, I would trace it back to the fact they're giving you nothing, and we're talking about childhood. If they're saying, I want to know, is this person ever going to apologize, or are they going to make amends? It's like, yes. The Hangman also could mean your perspective's changed on the situation, and maybe you need to say sorry too. It's a two-way street maybe. Hanged Man can also mean it's been sacrifices for both people, and the Hangman also means you've been waiting. Yeah, don't forget, it's a card of doing nothing. If you were to look at this in their position, i.e. the other person, and it comes up, it's like, okay, they've had a change of perspective. They are now looking at wanting to reconcile with you. Will they do it? We don't know. Now, why do I say that? Does anybody know? Will they do it? Will they take action? There are no action cards there. This is an emotional thing. However, I teach you in the courses, if this came up in the position of the physical, which is about action, yes. So, you can actually dig deep by looking at the position to say, look, this is what they're feeling at the moment, but they are going to do it because they can see it in the position of action. If we saw this in the position of the mental self, the hopes, the fears, it means they're only thinking about it and they're only feeling it. We don't necessarily have action. Sorry, my light's just decided to do what it's always done. And that's 2 weeks, not always. Otherwise I wouldn't be using it, would I? Okay. So yeah, my light has decided to die off. Sorry about that. I don't know why it will not remain charged. Okay. Okay, getting questions about can you actually give me a reading? No, this is tarot tuition. We are teaching people how to read the tarot cards, and the cards that you are seeing are showing how we are studying these cards to gain meaning. So I'm sorry, my dear, I cannot tell you about your question. Sorry about that, people on Facebook. Are always getting a little confused. All right, so perspective, clarity. You know, this person, if they are in a position, as in the spiritual self, it would tell us that that person is following a path. But because of no action cards, i.e., no wands, no pentacles, we don't know. All right, so always look at your suit. I know it's very easy to kind of go, oh, yes, they're definitely going to say sorry. They probably are, but when? And again, timing. On the courses, I teach you how timing works. Very simple. I know there's lots of different methods out there, but you want one that's accurate, and you want one that's working, and you want one that makes sense, instead of going, oh, this could be in the spring. What the heck does that mean? This spring, next spring, decades time, you know? And the spring that's just gone because it never happened? Those kind of things, you see? And I know how frustrated clients are. They want to know who, what, where, when, and how. That's what they want to know. And most of all, they want to know when. And is it going to happen? And how can I know that this is definitely going to happen? They can't. You know, we are not there to pull rabbits out of hats. We're done. We're not a magician. We're not trying to actually say, look how clever I am, look how I can read your mind, look how psychic I am, because although we all possess those qualities, and I do believe we do, it's those that actually train with that and use it on a regular basis that actually develop the strength and the stamina to do it. But relying on that alone, if you ask me for a reading without cards, I could probably do it, but I wouldn't want to. And what I would be doing, and I'm telling you this absolutely, is I would be asking for numbers, and I would be going, okay, that is so-and-so card out of the major arcana, because I have a system, because I created software years ago, I kind of know the numeracy in my coding system for that software, what that card would have been, like 0156, I have 4 digits, 0156, I would know that that was the combination for, I can tell you, the Fool and the King of Pentacles. So I'd still be reading cards because symbology speaks to me, the tarot speaks to me. Yeah, there's other things I can do, but I have really deeply studied this far more than I've studied Reiki, Bach flower remedies, I Ching, oracle cards, fairy cards, you know, Doreen Virtue, whether you like her or you don't like her, that was a trend way back, and palms and astrology. I was never that clever to be able to work it out, as in when, or to be fortunate enough to find the right person. You know, we need something that connects with us. Hi, Marcia. Hello, how are you? Nice to see you. So, yeah, you know, we've got this wonderful combination here. We need to understand what we're being told. Okay, let's choose another one. If anyone would like to make a suggestion of the major card that you'd like me to put up, here we go. Misunderstanding, Marcia, tuition, not readings. But you can ask a question if it's about tuition, of course. Okay, so if it's about tuition, you may. But if you're actually looking for a personal reading, no, because I'm teaching. All right, my lovely. I'll let you tell us whether that's okay for you or not. All right. So let's get rid of that. And let's bring up, we've had that one, I beg your pardon. Let's bring up this. Okay. Now then, the Emperor. Did you want a reading, Marcia? Is that what you were looking for? Sorry, it's always tuition. I'm not giving readings. I know people do. And you see tarot and expect it. I'm sorry. No, if you look underneath me, you'll see it's tarot tuition. Sorry, my lovely. Right. So the Emperor. So there is an awful lot that we could actually look at for that. But I had to sort of select some keywords that would help us. The Emperor is ambitious, all right? And maybe we are going back if we got this in a reading, no question again, we could go, okay, well, I'm feeling this is about ambitions, and I'm feeling I've got to reconcile with the fact that those ambitions could have caused a lot of emotions, in the sense of in childhood, maybe that person didn't know what they wanted to do. Maybe they followed the crowd and didn't actually go with being the leader like the Emperor. Maybe that person did go with their ambitions and actualize them and felt that they missed out on childhood. Can you see where that's coming from? Are they the adult or are they the child? If we put the Six of Cups into the Emperor, it would suggest that really and truly, the Emperor was probably winning the situation, Major Arcana card, suppressing the childhood, being ambitious, reconciling with yourself and not having a childhood, for being so mature, for being so logical, for being so grown up, that kind of thing. The other thing I'd like to say, seeing as we've got the Six of Cups on the screen, and that's emotions, don't forget that the Emperor is the father figure. All right, so reconciliation with the father, maybe, or a father figure in their life. Maybe even if it's current, they may be saying, oh, at work, had an argy-bargy. It's been a constant sort of uncomfortable experience at work, and, my boss is difficult, And it's like, well, actually, I think they're going to go more gently on you, because Six of Cups is around your boss. The Emperor is the boss, he is the daddy, he is the father, he is the entrepreneur, he is the mature one, he is the one that will lead armies, countries, do what he needs to do in order to get the job done. Not because he is light, it's because he has to do that. And that could be an aspect of this person. The Six of Cups is causing them to actually feel they need to make that reconciliation with that. It could even be that, we put that one up, okay? Ambitions from the past. Maybe it's the opposite. Maybe it's like, well, I became a daddy. Maybe you're reading for, a man or a woman, and they became a daddy. And you might go, well, why? Don't be, women can actually be the father figure in the family for many, many reasons. Think about that. I'm not going to go into detail. You'll work it out for many reasons. Could be left on their own, single parent, had to be both sides of the family, or, single sex sort of parents, all sorts of things. Maybe they actually experienced having to sacrifice their ambitions due to the fact that they had children. Why? Six of Cups is also a card of children. So you might go, which one is it? You'd need to look at the positions. I teach you that in the courses. You'd need to look at the surrounding cards. You would know. Trust me, you would know. The whole theme would be running with, this is all about the family, or this is all about career, or this is all about the past. And what they didn't do, their childhood, or what they didn't do, they did not study. Quite often you get mature students, don't you? Could be leading along there. There's so many things, you see. But on its own, the Six of Cups, you're probably going, oh, no, I think that you probably need to get in touch with your inner child. Well, yeah, maybe. But people want more than that. They could read that in a book. They could actually pick up, the little white book, as in, in the Rider-Waite, and be able to actually find that out for themselves, or even go on to Google or whatever it is and look that up. So it's important, isn't it? Okay. So let's have another one. Let's get rid of that one first. Okay. Take it to this. The world. Okay. So for the world, I chose the word completion, as I said. Many things, cycles of life, you know, but completion's a good one, and it's an excellent card. So completion, and we get the past. Maybe emotionally they have come to terms with the past and they're in a better place, or maybe they have completed something and now they can revisit the past. It could be, if we change it to this, they've completed something that was worldly, you know, maybe they've set out on a mission to become, I don't know, lead armies, lead companies, develop software for Microsoft or Apple or whatever it is, and they've been really successful. They've scratched that itch, and now they're actually going, you know what, I really want to connect with my folks, my neighborhood, people I grew up with, the area. You know, I was so busy on a mission and I've completed it. I want to go back. I'm nostalgic, you know. I want to go into the past. That is what this pair could mean. Again, this could be in a future position. So we have that in the spread, you know, what's coming up in the future, and timelines, 2 timelines, very accurate timelines in 2 different positions. So if one of them felt to you as if you weren't quite comfortable with what you were being told, for example, swords, it's open, you know, it could be any time. That's not helpful. And I don't do spring, summer, or anything like that. And I don't do the usual, this represents this, that, and the other. There is a little bit of that, a nice easy one for you, what cups represent, what wands represent, what pentacles represent. I've told you what swords represent right now. But then there is another system where it's really exciting, where you can actually go, gosh, yes, it's there, and I can follow it like a map round and see that that's making perfect sense, because it's happening here, then it leads on to there, and it leads on to there, and it leads on to there. So, and then there's a third one that you can actually use. So you see, it depends how deep you want to go digging, or how simple you want it to be. Simplicity is always the best way to make you feel comfortable that you want to dive in and see what the next bit's all about. Okay, let's change the card. Let's see. Oh, our favourite. Passionate Saggy likes this one. I always want to laugh when I see this card, simply because I know the reaction is, oh, we like a bit of devil, and people have so many questions. So it's always one that I like to do, because we can easily be caught up in what we think it actually is. Okay, right. For the devil, I chose the word materialism. So if this came up for somebody in a reading, and we get the devil card combined with 6 of Cups, we could actually look at that and go, okay, materialism could have actually got in the way of having children. Materialism could have meant that they had their children, but the children were kind of, you know, what you say goes, your way or the highway. You might have been the devil that was the puppet master with them, and, you know, they love you, but there's an emotional bondage there, and they didn't see much up for you. Remember, the devil card is very much about control, okay? And if we look at that, because we've got the element of cups, what would the parent be controlling? Emotions, So, there could be, emotions in materialism. It could be, well, I do this all for you. And the child thinks, no, you don't. You do it for yourself. I never see you. I'd rather see you than the materialism that you're offering me. Quite often the case. And this could actually be, you might go, well, which one's which? Depends where it comes up. If it comes up in them, as the person, it means they're the ones that's actually materialistic and they've missed out on the past. If it's actually about others, it means others did this to them. It will all make sense. But again, you would look at positions, you would look at what's going on, and yes, the devil can mean 100 things. Emotional bondage in this case, probably. Materialism. Emotional bondage to what? To actually make them probably feel a bit guilty. Remember, the devil card makes you think of that word guilty. They feel guilty, that they didn't spend enough time with their children. They feel guilty that they didn't do what they should have done in the past, maybe by their friends, their family. Six of Cups is also cards of friendship, reconciliation, all these kind of things. So if it comes up as in where somebody's saying, will I hear from someone again? I want to know, is that person going to actually, are we going to reconcile? And it's like, yes, okay, that person's very materialistic. So the emotional thing that you're probably looking for or craving, you'll probably make you feel quite guilty for providing you with material security. And, that's why you don't get enough of my time, what do you want me to do? This kind of thing. So it could be that person, as much as you want to be with them, cannot supply that emotional bond that you want. And that person is driven by their status, their materialism, their ambition, all sorts of things. So can you see that when you combine cards, you can get a lot more? Because you're starting to build up words, pictures, sentences. That's what it's like. It's like a map where you are adding on, you go down this road, then what? Well, you need to know the next direction, don't you? Where do I navigate? What signpost do I follow? Use pairs. Get used to actually dividing your deck into two. Pulling out just the devil and going, oh gosh, this is what came up today, and everyone going, oh, how awful. Is it? Might be about your status, might be about your reputation. It might be the fact that, you're really in control of the situation. And, might be about the person here and their emotions. They're really in control of their childhood emotions. There's emotional bondage to it, but they feel happy and content. All is good. So it depends where it's coming up. If it comes up as an obstacle, of course, it could be more sinister, and I will leave it at that. I'll let you think about that, okay? Because, somebody that's using their power against children, it's not very nice. So, it can be all sorts of different things, all right? But you need to be very careful how you look at things, but you need to think outside the box also, all right? Always go with something that feels gentle and appropriate, and you can start with that. I seem to be pulling up the same cards, I beg your pardon. I've just got numbers, and because I'm talking to you, I'm not thinking about what number they are. So, and I label them differently for software, and I label them differently for this. So, who knows? Okay, let's stick with it being the past on that keyword for a moment, and let's look at the High Priestess and give you a keyword. And we've chosen on this one, we'll call it the future. Okay, I'll make that a little bit bigger. I hope that works. Hard to get hold of these sometimes. Of course, it's not going to, just unlocked it. Okay, so future and the past, how can that be? Yeah, that's what tarot does. You go, what? I thought I had it. Now it's doing that. I don't know what to do. I don't want to play with this anymore. Getting in a pickle. Dig. Be brave, and also don't be You know, don't be a stranger to studying books, asking people, you know, could it be this? I'm training. Would you mind if I asked? You know, this is what it means. Future in the past. It's probably the fact that this person is able to know emotionally and intuitively. Emotionally, because we've got the cups. Intuitively, because we've got the high priestess. So a lot of people, readers used to come to me and they'd go, you know, I work for you, but I'm sorry, I've just got to have a reading. And I'd go, it's okay. And they go, you know, I feel silly, but I don't want to read for myself. And it's like, well, you can, but they didn't use my system, and I didn't want that, you know. Anybody that wants to do what they want to do, they're free to choose. That's what it's all about, a uniqueness. But they'd say, can you actually just read for me? Because I do not know the difference between my emotions and what I'm hoping it is and what I'm fearing it is. That's our emotions. So when I look at it one way, I look at it as in I'm full of fear. So I don't know if I'm being biased that way, or I don't know if it really is my intuition telling me, or whether it doesn't work like that and I can just do it for other people. With this system, you will be able to read for yourself, but I never forced people that were working for me, that came into my platform, to actually do my method. I wouldn't force anybody. If you want to do it, it's that I can help you. Makes a difference. Once somebody's already started with their, they don't always want to unpick their knitting, do they? I get that. Okay. But if you want to develop and you want to grow and you're really looking for something else, then yeah, you know, we keep looking. So, yeah. Is it that they are feeling their emotions? Yes, because they've got the Six of Cups. Is it because it's their intuition? Yes, because they've got the High Priestess. What about the fact that we've got the future and the past here? Well, it can be that that person is very intuitive because of experiences from the past. So they probably actually are a very intuitive person that developed it in childhood. So that would be the most obvious one. Yeah, you're very psychic, you're very intuitive, you're able to look into the future, but you develop this skill as a child. It's the most obvious one. Okay? Or it may be that they have really and truly not been looking at that area in their lives at all, and all of a sudden something comes up, as in a flood of nostalgia comes up from the past. Let's get that one on the screen for you. Not both together, Anne-Marie. And I took the future one off, I beg your pardon. That's my mistake, sorry. So they are looking at the fact that they've been very nostalgic, and they realise that they used to be very intuitive and they just haven't done a lot of that in a long time. And so therefore they want to go digging back into that again. All right. But going back to the one where we said it's the future and the past, it's probably about the fact that they're skilled enough to be able to, I would say, I'm going to put this on, okay. All right. I would say that this is somebody that, look at Major Arcana card, it's telling us they're quite psychic, they're very intuitive, they're very perceptive, if you like, whichever way you want to look it out. But it would tell me that they are probably really skilled at past, present, future, which very much mediumship, you know, clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, all the clairs. You know, and could go on, couldn't you? But yeah, it probably is appropriate for them. And looking at that, what would you say with it being the emotions? Clairsentient. They feel things. They're very intuitive. So they're able to look into the future and they're able to look into the past. They're very skilled. Okay? I can honestly say that I trained in mediumship too. It wasn't for me. I just did not feel an ounce of satisfaction with that. And I did it for a year and a half, 2 years, every week, in the same group, with the same teacher that taught me tarot, so I can't even blame that. In the same location. I thought it was going to be excellent. And here we go. No, but no. the calling for me is the tarot, and the tarot doesn't really talk too much about the past. Some readers use certain spreads that do that. It's up to you, isn't it? Much more that your client is interested in what's happening, what's going to happen. That's what they want from you. That's what they want from a reading. And most things are set upon, we would like to know, a bit like the weather forecast, wouldn't we? Is it going to rain today? If so, are you going to get soaked? What you could do if you take no notice, you could do if you are outside, you could do if, you actually decided to take a walk in the rain. But most of us will probably get caught in the odd shower simply because we're not going to be outside all day. But for somebody that is, they would probably pay attention to that forecast because it matters to them more. It's the same with tarot, okay? It is a bit like, you're only forecasting really and truly what. Don't think you've got to be psychic. Don't think. People say to me, oh, you're born psychic. I think we all are. And I don't want to go, oh, yes, of course I was. My family aren't interested in it at all. Not at all. People say to me, oh gosh, your family are so lucky. They don't want to read it. I'm not going to give it to them. They wouldn't appreciate it. If they wanted it, they'd ask me. I often have said, would you like, go on then. Yeah, all right. The heart's not in it. That's fine. You've got to get that. And that can be really hard when you're practicing, if you've got those kind of people around you that really don't care less about it, because they're not going to get a buzz, they're not going to give you the feedback that you need to know whether you were good, or you've improved, or it was terrible. You just want feedback, because it may be hurtful, but you'll know where to actually start fixing things. When I run the business, the most important thing was feedback about anything we were doing, whether it was readers, whether it was, what we're charging, whether it was the current sort of, there used to be a carousel of an intro, I only want 10 minutes, I only want 20 minutes, oh, can't we do longer? I can only book an hour and I wanted to extend, is that possible? I don't want to have to queue again, because that was the other thing. I think we were one of the first to actually provide the ability for people to be able to queue and know that estimated you were going to be able to speak to your reader within the time that the previous one had booked in, unless they extended, in which case you go, they're obviously going and extending with that person. It'll be about another half an hour. So yeah, and feedback, people loved it, to come and tell you. So that is what you want, but don't expect it to come from those that really aren't interested, because it's not fair on them. They don't know what to say to you. They're not interested, and what they say might be damaging. And go, oh, that was rubbish. And they come back to you 2 years later and go, by the way, I thought it was a load of rubbish what you said, but actually, you were right. And you'd go, well, I gave up now, because what you said. Do you see what I mean? So think of it, I tell you, the biggest buzz when you do your first paid reading is how much your client will appreciate the reading, as opposed to those that you barter something or you do it for free. And one thing that really is nice is if someone else is actually learning, it's great to work with them. But then you can feel that you're in competition with that person, you're comparing yourself to that person. Swings and roundabouts with everything, isn't it? So yeah, there is no getting away from that, but if that came up in that person, we'd have to be looking at the fact that this is somebody that's very intuitive, deeply psychic, probably had it since childhood, probably very gifted with being able to do past, present, future. And as I say, it probably wouldn't be tarot. It would be the emotional side, a clairsentient. So that's a good one. Gosh, I better, what are we on, 6 of Cups, better give you some keywords. So on there was forgiveness as well, wasn't there? All right, so let's do one more and then it'll be probably our last one. Um, yeah, right, so the tower. Um, Things where people find, difficult cards I like to actually sort of do for you because I think we can all be surprised at the fact that it can have so many different meanings. So quite often, what usually is the case, I do beg your pardon, I'm going to have a sip of water. Fast changes. Okay. So tower can be unsettling, it can be something where we're pushed, it can be something of anger, but there could be some past changes based upon what's happened in the past. So you might go, don't understand that. Well, sometimes things can suddenly really start to take off, can't they? Why? Because of all the hard work that you put in. Your career could start taking off, and it could be, gosh, you've been at this since childhood. You've been interested in this, you've been developing something. So maybe this is one of your ambitions, maybe all of a sudden fast changes are on the way. I've always wanted to travel, I've always wanted to actually have my own business, I've always wanted to have a family, and all of a sudden life's just changed and gosh, we're having kids. Why? Because again, Six of Cups. You can't ignore the fact that there's children there. It doesn't mean you're having children, but it could be one of the meanings within this pair. Something in their life is changing fast. Yes, it can be unsettling. Yes, it can actually knock them for six. Yes, it can make them think about the past. If I change the actual, and we put that one back up, fast changes to do with childhood memories. So same sort of thing. Something's changing quickly in their life based on something to do with their childhood memories. And that could be someone's come back into their life. So this could be someone visiting from the past. So all of a sudden, wow, this person, you know what? They opened the door for me. This is what's happening. I've actually, I've got a contact now. And they're helping me. And, they've helped me with my career or a house move or, something you're interested in your hobbies, Suddenly somebody comes in from the past and it's like, gosh, teach me tarot. Yeah. Ask what I do. Really? Yeah, and I run a company. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Once you get what you need from her, let me know. There's a job there for you. You're kidding. No, I'm not. And you see, suddenly it's like, I've been doing this for years. I never thought I could do it professionally. Why not? Sometimes somebody comes in, so it could be somebody coming in from the past. So it's not just, as I put on the screen, childhood memories. It's someone from the past. Past changes based on someone from the past. Why do we have children to show it's the past? Because it's our childhood. Why do we have the Hermit when we talk about that as the past? Because he's walked the planet for a long time. He's got a lot of experience. So he's probably not doing much now, but he's got the wisdom from his past. And that's why we've got those cards. And the other one, of course, is the Three of Swords, which is all to do with something that's happened in our past. Those little nuggets. So when somebody says, somebody coming back from my past, look for the Six of Cups. Yeah? Look for the Hermit. Look for the Three of Swords. And they go, oh my gosh, that looks like a heartbreak. Might have been heartbreaking, but that's over now. The past is done. We don't have to worry about that because that's already happened. Not much we can really do about it. We can learn from it. You can put things right from it. But, not much we can actually do to change everything about our past. There are certain aspects we can change. So fast changes could be unsettling, but coming up quickly. Somebody could have waited years and years and years. for something to actually come into their life and change the whole phase of how it happened. Any questions? Those that are watching, all of those lovely people that said hi, do say hello, as in where you're coming from. We'll be finishing very soon. Okay. So hi there on Twitch, can see you watching. Hello there, people watching from one of my pages on Facebook. And thanks very much to those of you that's on YouTube. So yeah, you might go, it's not the only meaning. No, it's examples. We are talking and discussing it, and if you want to join in the discussion, you know I always tell you can come on and be a guest. I know that you probably get tired of me saying to people, I'm sorry we're not doing readings, but of course they see tarot cards and they're probably thinking everyone else does readings. It's not always a live where it's a tutorial and a chance for us to discuss the cards. There are those that are collectors, and that's usually obvious that they're looking at different cards, etc. But combinations like this, they're probably thinking out. So I'm sorry I just feel very frustrated that I've tried to be as clear as possible, and they've wasted their time daring to ask, and then going, oh gosh, no, I've been turned away. I don't like turning people away, but we're not here for that. So, we have come to the end of our time together tonight. Thank you so much for watching. And if you like the tutorials, don't forget the podcast. I have put a podcast together for you all. And there is the playlist of Tuesday Tarot Twists. That's all on my YouTube channel. Okay. If you are interested in how I read, and you want to know how many cards I use 44, and that's what it looks like, and that's what one of my courses would lead you to be able to look at, and that has got a lot of depth. You can find the courses on my website, Tarot with Anne-Marie. Okay. So, isn't it lovely doing the emotional lot instead of finding that sometimes it's been sad or unhappy for people with different suits. I've always loved the Six of Cups. So our next card, we'll be moving on Thursday night, and a tutorial and all about the meanings and everything I could possibly find to be able to fill about 40 minutes, sometimes an hour, all about the Seven of Cups. Quite a complicated card, so much symbology, you don't want to miss that one. You know, you can look at it and go, oh gosh, they're really scattered. It's a lot more than that, okay? And from it, you can take lots and lots and lots that you can actually realise that when you're reading tarot, all the background things that I tell you will probably go here, and then somewhere along in a reading you go, you know, I normally always say that, but I'm feeling more comfortable. I remember that this came up, and I remember her saying this, and I remember that, and I remember, you know, and you start to build it up. I don't like to use the word story, but it's a story of their life, and it's a navigation of looking at where they are now. What's the likely forecast if they keep doing what they're doing? Look at it like that. You know, if we're having a heat wave today, what's the likelihood of it being like that tomorrow? And where I am, I can tell you my face is sore from the sun today. I know it doesn't look it, but yeah, it feels a bit tender from the sun. It got up to 48 where we are, and that was really hot, I can tell you. We've got this for quite some time. So enjoy the weather if you can, and do take care of yourselves and each other. And if there's somebody that you know that would enjoy the tarot series here that we look at in combination cards and how we study the minor arcana, that one minor arcana every week. We did it before with the major arcana when we were doing the major arcana, but we're nearly nearly a year now since we've been doing this, not quite. We've still got plenty more to go through. So lots of tutorials on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And the Thursday one is all about one single card. We're not mixing anything. Then on Tuesdays, if you've not seen my channel before, we do exactly what we did tonight, which is stick with the card that I taught you on Thursday and show you how it might come up in a reading and what it might mean. It doesn't mean it means this. It's like, this is how you can start to put two things together. Bit like if you've got two letters, A on its own, and then you've got the letter T, put them together, you've got at. Then you can build it into the fact that that becomes your position, and then it becomes part of your building up. And it's not just past, present, future. It's what they're thinking, what their intentions are, what their feelings are, what they're going to do, what action, if any. And if they take action, will it result in a positive based on their current background of facts? Or will it need a rethink? In which case, forewarned, forearmed, you've told them, it's up to them. If they want to go out and it's raining cat and dogs without an umbrella, you see? And if you think of it like that, stop thinking, oh, I'm not as good as a psychic, I'm not a medium, I'm not an astrologer, I'm not that. And you know what, even an expert is only an expert in a tiny thing. Tiny, tiny, tiny. I'm an expert at this. But I'm not an expert at different, Robin Wood tarot deck, although I have lots of decks. It's the traditional Rider-Waite because I'm teaching and that makes sense. I've used it the most. Marseille decks, Pip decks, yeah, okay, I'm familiar with them. Expert? No. Most people are an expert. Tiny, tiny, tiny thing. And they're still learning, they still study, they still grow. Look at all the surgeons, how they continue to pioneer new techniques, to actually retrain, to look at this, to look at that. We're no different. So please don't feel that you need to be able to know everything. Impossible. You can't. But if you want to keep your hobby fresh and alive, and you want to keep growing and use your time to keep investing in that knowledge and your technique and your skill, and to look at ways to actually grow, then you're on the right track, aren't you? Because you're just going to get better and better and better. And that is the most important thing. Never feel intimidated or that you should know all the answers to everything. And people say, oh, you don't believe in that old thing, do you? Isn't that just a money-making racket? Yeah, they say things like that, and you just go, no, it's not. I believe me, I used to earn money, as in from something else, much more easily than this. This is something that I believe in. And why? Because it works. That's why. Have a wonderful weekend. No, week? Tuesday. Gosh, what am I like? I'll see you Thursday, 7 of Cups. You see, it's already started. And I hope that you have a really, really wonderful Tuesday. Until Thursday, I'll see you soon. Bye for now.